Well, a new study from the University of California, Riverside says no. According to the study, a person's personality traits tend to stay the same over a very long period of time. And the research begs the question, can we ever change who we are? Helen Fisher, a biological anthropologist, says it's difficult but not impossible. And she has 5 tips to show us how. And Helen, I just found this study so fascinating. I'm so glad you're here to break it down for us. People in this study, they looked at them 40 years later, same personalities that they had when they were children growing up.
Well, they were studying certain personality traits like curiosity and talkativeness, and those are in the DNA. You know, there's 2 parts of personality. There's what you call your character, which is all those things you learned as you grow up, and there's also your temperament, which are all those traits that come out of your biology. And so, for example, curiosity comes out of your biology. We know where that comes from. But then you grow up in America and you're curious about some things. You grow up in Africa or someplace else, you're curious about other things. So the environment always molds your biology.
So what do we have control over?
Well, we have control over ourselves to some extent, and there are certainly ways that you can stop a bad habit, for example.
One of the things that, the first thing you should do if you want to stop a bad habit, which probably comes out of your biology and your background, is write out a plan.
Write it down.
Yeah, write
Make
it down.
sure that you know where you're going with this.
Make a plan and write it down. And then look at all the stumbling blocks. I mean, let's say you're a person who's always late to work because you're looking at your BlackBerry. Put the BlackBerry someplace so that you can't look at it. I mean, you know, if you don't want to slip, don't go into slippery places. I mean, and then write a journal out. To keep a daily log of what you did and what you didn't do. I mean,
so you can really track what you're doing and your changes along the way. I want to come to the environment because you mentioned how significant a role environment plays in the formation of a personality.
Right.
So if you're trying to change something, what do you need to do with your environment?
You've got to, let's say you want to get to be thinner. Don't go into the candy store. I mean, you know.
It seems obvious,
go to those places.
We have these habits that we pick up.
Absolutely. I mean, if you don't want to slip, don't go into slippery places. Just don't go there. Turn around. Go a different direction. I mean, one of the things that I do is create a little aphorism. For example, instead of saying, I don't want that piece of cake, I'll say, I love looking good in that white skirt of mine. And just repeat that over and over and over to yourself. And tell somebody what your plan is so that you can even check in with them and almost on a daily level.
What kind of person should you tell about that plan?
Somebody whose criticism you can take. I mean, you know, you don't want somebody who's going to be constantly lecturing you that you did this wrong.
That you missed the mark or something like that?
Just a really good friend who understands the situation, really wants to help and wants to listen to what the plan is, maybe even help you with the plan, help you with some of the blockades to the plan.
And I like your last tip. You say reward yourself. Yes. Everyone likes a reward. What kind of rewards should you be giving yourself to help you change who you are?
Well, I think food is generally a bad idea in
I used to do Oreos in college. What's wrong with that?
Anything as simple as taking a marble out of one pocket and putting it in the other pocket. And at the end of the day, look at the marbles. Look at the successes that you've had. Write down the successes that you've had. Tell your friends about the successes that you've had. Go to bed thinking, well, I made some progress today. This is possible. I can do this.
I like that. Thank you so much, Dr. Helen Fisher. Thanks for being with us today.